Hello, welcome to the Inner Whisper, your sacred pause to come home to yourself. I'm Bunny. Today marks a new rhythm in our journey together. From now on, the Inner Whisper will be with you 3 times a week: Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, instead of 5 days a week. I chose this change to give you more space between each reflection, more time to breathe, integrate, and embody what you receive. Because transformation doesn't happen in the rush, it unfolds in the pause. Ju- This gentler pace will allow each whisper to settle more deeply, guiding you from reflection into lived experience. This week, we are guided by a powerful theme: free yourself from conditioning. Because so often we believe we're living from our truth when in reality, we are following scripts we did not write ourselves. Today, we begin the week, happy Monday, with this journey. And the first step: recognize the voices that are not yours. Throughout life, we learn to listen to many voices. The voice of our mother telling us how we should behave, the voice of a father echoing what is expected of us, the voices of school, culture, religion, friends, society, all forming a chorus in our minds. And over time, they blend with our own until one day we can no longer tell which one is truly ours. As a life coach, I want to guide you through this moment of awareness. What parts of what you believe about yourself are truly yours, and what parts are echoes of someone else's story? Sometimes these voices whisper things like, you can't fail, you must be strong, don't make waves, you have to earn love. We try so hard to live up to them that we forget who we are underneath. But then the soul begins to whisper louder than the noise. That whisper is what brought you here today. Recognizing the voices that are not yours is an act of courage, because when you do, you begin to return home. You begin to listen to your truth, the one that doesn't shout but knows, the voice of your true self, the voice of your authenticity, your voice. So take a slow breath with me here, and let's walk this inner path together, a path that leads you back to the sound of your own soul. With these three paths, I want to give you a simple way, a simple practice to start doing this, to start opening yourself to listening to your own voice. Observe your inner dialogue. Notice what you tell yourself during the day. Every thought that begins with I should, I have to, or I can't usually comes from someone else's voice. Write them down. Observe them without judgment. Then ask, where does this voice come from? When you catch yourself thinking a critical or limiting thought, pause and ask, does this voice belong to me, or did I learn it from someone else? Naming its source gives you power over it. It helps you recognize when this voice started, how, and you can start understanding why. Then It has been adopted in your inner dialogue. And finally, chose your own truth. Each time you recognize a voice that isn't yours, replace it with one that comes from your heart. For example, I'm not enough. Rewrite it to, I'm learning to love myself as I am. Or I must do everything perfectly. To, I'm valuable even in my imperfection. And keep doing this every time you identify this critic voice. Do exactly this. Rewrite that inner dialogue and start incorporating that way of talking to yourself so it becomes natural. It becomes who you truly are. And to help you understand why it can be so hard to recognize these voices, let's look at a few wisdom drops that blend psychology and timeless truth. Cognitive psychology shows that about 90% of our daily thoughts are repetitive, and most are learned, not original. So start becoming aware of your own thoughts, of your own dialogue. Neuroscience reveals that the brain repeats familiar patterns because what's familiar feels safer, even when it hurts. And the Buddhist wisdom reminds us freedom begins the moment we stop believing every thought we think. We are not our thoughts. So let's connect with your true voice through the breath, your most direct bridge to awareness. Let's start with our breath of lights, and always before we start with the first one, we release and let go all that stagnant air in our lungs. And we get ready to take a deep inhale through the nose, inhaling clarity, and exhaling a voice that doesn't belong to you. Second breath, inhale the presence of your soul. How does it feel? And exhale the need to meet others' expectations. Last breath, inhale as if the light of your truth is coming in. And exhale everything that pulls you away from it. Place your hands over your heart and feel the rhythm of your own breath. Let it echo fill your body, reminding you that this is your inner compass. Stay here for a moment. Listening to the stillness that remains when the noise fades and only your true voice is left. How does it sound? How does it talk to you? How does it feel when you start talking yourself with love, with compassion, with understanding? Today, we took the first step on this journey, recognizing the voices that are not yours, those inherited voices of fear, duty, perfection, or silence, the ones that shaped how you saw yourself and how you loved. When we start to notice them, something sacred happens. The silence stops feeling empty and begins to hold you in that silence. In that silence, your authentic voice awakens. Not the one that seeks approval, but the one that speaks truth. Remember, you don't have to fight the outer noise. Just return again and again to the sound of your heart. It doesn't shout, it whispers. And when you listen, it leads you home. It leads you to yourself. It leads you to your inner light and wisdom. As Rumi wrote, listen to the silence. It has so much to say. May your inner ear open to the language of your soul. May confusion melt away with gentleness. And may each day bring you closer to your truth, lighter, freer, and more you. For today's mantra, I invite you to repeat it with me out loud if you can. If not, say it mentally or just feel the energy. Take a deep breath. My inner voice is my truest guide. Thank you for joining me in this reflection. Remember that from now on, the Inner Whisper will be on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That way you can actually do the work. You can actually put the practices to work, and you can actually start creating the path to yourself, the path back home. If this inner whisper spoke to your heart, please subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next whispers. Share in the comments, which voice are you ready to let go of? Give it a like and share the message with someone who needs this reminder. And join me on Substack, where I share weekly writing to support your inner journey at innerlightpath.substack.com. I'll see you on Wednesday. Until then, love deeply, shine brightly, and embrace your journey. Ciao.